सभी हम आपका स्वागत करते हैं, वंदन करते हैं, अभिनंदन करते हैं। नाम है, हम आह्लादित हैं आपको पाकर के इस विवेकानंद सभागार में। आप यहाँ पर आए, आपने हमारा आतिथ्य स्वीकार किया। मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन को उद्घाटित करने का हमें अवसर दिया। हम आपके आभारी हैं। हम आपका स्वागत करते हैं, वंदन करते हैं, अभिनंदन करते हैं और चंदन करते हैं। मान्यवर, यह विश्वविद्यालय नया है। 2019 से यह कैंपस शुरू हुआ है। 2009 में विश्वविद्यालय स्थापित हुआ था। पहले रेंटेड बिल्डिंग में पटना में चला करते थे और अब यहाँ पर है। 2018 से ये भवन चल रहा है। अल्पकाल में इस विश्वविद्यालय ने कुछ महत्वपूर्ण ऊंचाइयां प्राप्त किया है। विश्वविद्यालय ने नैक जैसी प्रतिष्ठित संस्था से A++ ग्रेड प्राप्त किया है, जिसका CGPA 3.58 है और विश्वविद्यालय अनुदान आयोग द्वारा इसको प्रथम श्रेणी का दर्जा प्राप्त है। आप यहाँ पर आए क्योंकि नया विश्वविद्यालय है। आपके आशीर्वाद की हमें आकांक्षा है, हमें अपेक्षा है और जिस सहज भाव से, जिस सरल भाव से आपने हमारे आज के आतिथ्य को स्वीकार किया है, आगे भी आपका आशीर्वाद हमें मिलता रहेगा। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं पुनः आप सभी का अभिनंदन करते हुए, वंदन करते हुए अपनी वाणी को विश्राम देता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
हमारा आजादी के समय हमने जो संविधान बनाया था, उस संविधान का 75वां वर्ष चल रहा है। This is the 75th year of our constitution. We are very proud of our constitution. It has kept us one. It has instilled the spirit of Indianness, Bharatiyata in all of us. We are very proud of it, and when we celebrate 75 years of our constitution, we should be really very proud of it. भारत सरकार ने एक कार्यक्रम भी लिया, हमारा संविधान हमारा स्वाभिमान, our constitution, our pride. But 75 years down the line, we have to once again reinvigorate that process of original thinking. And while saying that, let me mention that we produced two original thinkers in the last century. One was Mahatma Gandhi, the other was Pandit Deendayal Upadhyay. Let me conclude by saying, if we don't do it, what will happen is, Gandhi wrote Hind Swaraj in 1909, severely criticizing Western civilization. I mean, Hind Swaraj was all about criticizing Western civilization, so much so that his own friends were so unhappy with Gandhi. But Gandhi said, no, it's not for us. Deendayal tried to present an alternative, Indian alternative to the Western civilizational thought. बट हमने ना गांधी के थ्रेड को पकड़ा, ना दीनदयाल जी के थ्रेड को आगे बढ़ाया, तो होगा क्या 21st century में, when we see the Western civilization standing at the crossroads, मार्क्स का फिलॉसफी खत्म हो गया, एडम स्मिथ का फिलॉसफी समाप्त हो रहा है, but solutions for 21st century also are coming from Western institutions once again, because we don't think. एक एग्जांपल देके मैं समाप्त करता हूं। नया इकोनॉमी क्या होना चाहिए 21st सेंचुरी का? इसका आंसर हम ढूंढ रहे हैं वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम से। वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम डावोस में बैठ के प्रपोजल दिया है, 21st सेंचुरी इकोनॉमिक्स शुड बी स्टेक होल्डर इकोनॉमिक्स। You know, we know about shareholder economics. In economics, there are shareholders. You also must be having shares in through Bombay Stock Exchange and all that. It's called shareholder economics, where shareholders' interest is protected. World Economic Forum is saying, no, that's not enough in 21st century. You have to become stakeholder economics, meaning every company should think about nature, should think about society, who is not a shareholder. You may not have share, but उनकी भी हित को सोचना चाहिए। ये हमारा फिलॉसफी नहीं है क्या? कॉप मीटिंग्स पे कह रहे हैं कि पर्यावरण की रक्षा के लिए हमको कंजम्पशन कम करना चाहिए। तेन चकतेन भुंजिता हमारा फिलॉसफी नहीं है क्या? पर हमको सुनना पड़ रहा है वेस्टर्न इंस्टीट्यूशन से। क्यों? हम तो लेजी है। हम सोच रहे हैं वो सोचेंगे, वो हम अडॉप्ट कर लेंगे, अप्लाइड थिंकिंग पे चलेंगे। इसको छोड़ने के लिए कुछ प्रयास होना चाहिए। उस सिलसिला में प्रयास है। आप सब इसमें भाग ले रहे हैं, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
In 1948, for the first time officially, the world recognized, by world I mean every country, all the people, recognize that human being as human being is entitled to dignity. Earlier, before that, this thing had started crystallizing for a period of 50 or maybe you can say 100 years. But finally it took the concrete legal shape in 1948 when the Charter of Human Rights was adopted and the basic principle on which from which all human rights emanate is dignity of mankind. If human being as human being is entitled to dignity, then these rights naturally flow from there. And why there was need for it? Because earlier this concept was not there. Civilizations were defined either by color of the skin, we are a supreme race. Everybody is not of the same color. Therefore, those who are left out, they become others. Or basically, a human being cannot live as an island to herself, himself. We need a society. And society needs some basis for its cohesion and stability. And that principle world over was either race, either language, or the manner in which people gave expression to their faith and belief. Generally people recognize, there is one supreme being. But how to approach the supreme being, the methods and the pathways are different. So the other basis which was adopted was, this is our way of doing it and this is the only right way of doing it. Therefore, that should become the basis for the cohesion and stability of our society, and that certainly when people come together, they accumulate power, and that power is used to build a certain kind of culture and civilization. So 1948, this principle was adopted. Then why all these conflicts are going on? Because as a legal document, we have adopted it. It is very easy to make a law, but it takes a real very hard working to change the habits. Habits are the DNA is affected by the old habits where people consider themselves supreme, their own group supreme to other people, and these others are others for all practical purposes. Now I'm not going into details, this is just to give you the background and what is the background of why we are having all these tensions and problems in the world. On the other hand, Indian civilization, Indian culture was the thought leaders of India. They had rejected all these parameters and characteristics. They said no, color of the skin cannot become basis for defining your culture. Language which you speak, no, certainly not. The manner in which you give expression to your faith and belief, there can be diverse ways. So that cannot become basis for the cohesion and stability of the society. Then what should be the basis? They said there is only one basis, and that is Atma, the spirit. And when Adi Shankar said, he not only gave these 4 Mahavakyas from the 4 Vedas to the 4 mats which define Indian culture and civilization, then if you derive your inspiration from the Indian cultural heritage, the concept of divinity of mankind, what Pandit Deendayal Upadhyay has tried to do is to inject that concept of divinity of mankind into our politics. And for that we must be eternally grateful to him. That if India was recognized as a knowledge destination, as a knowledge civilization, 10th, 11th century, when the Europe had not yet, the European Renaissance had not yet taken off fully. At that time, Middle East, particularly the capital, Baghdad, those who are in the history department, they can see these. It was rife with intellectual activities, and it had become actually a kind of hub for intellectual activities. And they acknowledge, the Arabs acknowledge, that later part of the in the 9th century, they translated all the Greek knowledge into Arabic. But most part of the 8th century, they had translated Indian Sanskrit texts into Arabic, and they give credit for that. That is the age which is called Golden Age of the Arabs. And they say that it started with the translation of Sanskrit, right from Panchtantra to Surya Siddhanta. This scholar from Sindh, he took number of books to the court of Mansoor, who was the ruler at that time, and Surya Siddhanta fascinated him so much that he immediately entrusted the work along with this scholar from the Sindh. An Arabic scholar was associated, and they were asked to translate it into Arabic. And this book was named Hind Sindh. Spain was also being ruled by the Arabs at that time, and the relationship between Baghdad and Spain was not good relationship. So the ruler there realized that he came to know about this book, and then according to Philip Hitti, who is considered, whose book, The History of the Arabs, is considered one of the most authentic account of the Arab history. Philip Hitti in his book says that the ruler of the Spain paid huge bribe to the scribes to get a copy of that book. And from Spain, this book, Surya Siddhanta, rechristened as Hind Sindh. From Spain, it went to almost every European country, and it was translated into European languages, and from there, all their studies, space studies, started from there. Now, each one of them, they say that, these historians, they say, I'm talking of the Arab historians who have written history in 9, 10, 11, right from Tabri to Ibn Khaldun. They all say that the world has 5 major civilizations. Irani civilization is known for its majesty, Chinese for their craftsmanship, Romans for their beauty and chivalry, Turks for their bravery, and then they say that Indian civilization is the only civilization which is known for promotion of knowledge and wisdom. In the writings of Swami Rangnath Nanda, the answer is so comprehensive and so logical and rational. He said that we were a knowledge civilization. We were worshippers of masters. And the pursuit of knowledge, as Swami Vivekananda said, the purpose of life is pursuit of knowledge. The pursuit of knowledge, a question has been asked in Upanishad. There is a small dialogue. Tapa is not merely ascesis, austerities, discipline. Tapa is also alochane, meditation, thinking, reflection, thinking critically. So he says that we were worshippers of Saraswati in that sense. And as the dialogue in the Upanishad indicates, that process of acquisition of knowledge is not completed merely by pursuing knowledge. After acquisition of knowledge, unless you share it with others, process is not completed. So he said, the Upanishad says, what is tapa? Tapa is swa-adhyay plus pirvachan. Pirvachan means the knowledge which you have acquired, you have now to share it with others. Swami Ranganathanand says that unfortunately during the period of our fall, decline, we stopped sharing. We did not stop acquisition of knowledge, but we stopped sharing knowledge with others. And that led to our decline. This new atmosphere, certainly we can, I think this last sentence, that possibly if we had really given enough thought to our own cultural heritage, then possibly instead of using so many words in our preamble in the Constitution, we would have said merely, we give to ourselves this Constitution. India, not so many these adjectives, merely ekatm manavvad, and that would have covered secularism, that would have covered secularism, no distinction. How can you make distinction? If I see God in you, deho devalaya prokto jivo deva sadashiva, how can I consider you inferior? How can I treat you differently? I have necessarily to see you as extension of my own self. If I can be cruel to myself, then only I can be cruel to you. That is the basic thrust of Ekatma Manava. Not that Pandit Deendayal Upadhyay has given this. This was given to the India Mahirshis of India, Munis of India, maybe 5,000, but he is the first man, possibly after Gandhi, who tried to bring this into the body politic of India, and for that we must not only acknowledge, we must say thanks to Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Dhanyavad, Jai Hind.